Chrissy Bear. Chrissy Bear wasn't a tan, but that was the first sexual experiences I ever had with girls. Chrissy Bear was an 80s chick, blonde from Verona. Whoops, I said her last name. Well, she's probably married now or something, but they saw I was shy. It's when I first came to junior high in 9th grade, and they were organizing something for school, like a project. And she told me she wanted me on her team. So I just said, okay, whatever. So she went. We were doing. The theme was a geisha girl, which is a Japanese prostitute. So Chrissy Bear wanted to dress me up like one. Little cross-dressing involved. You know, put the makeup on or whatever. I was 13. I was like, whatever. So I don't know how I did this, but I convinced my mother to take me to Verona as we're working on a school project. And she didn't even check up who they were or who I was doing it with. When I went in the house, there was about 20 girls in there. And some of them had their panties on. You got to remember, there's just tons of makeup in the 80s. So I come in all nervous, but excited at the same time. And they said, sit down. I sat on the couch. And then 3 or 4 girls sat right next to me. We were all touching. Then they had this big stalk of bananas. They started peeling these bananas around me and putting them going like this. And I'm like looking to the left and looking to the right. And you got to remember, I was so shy that I was like, whoa. And I was getting real turned on. And then one of the girls grabbed me between my legs. I had pants on. And she said, oh my God, you're like a brick. I was like, oh no. And then Chrissy Bear says to me, all right, Lenny, here's why you're here. Take it out and jerk it. And I didn't even know how to do it at the time. I didn't know how to do it. I took it out. It was rock hard. Pulled my pants down to my ankles, actually, sitting on the couch. And it was up to here, right? And I said, what do you mean? I said, a couple of the girls started going like this to me. They were doing it. And it just getting harder. And I started squirming. And I never conscientiously ejaculated before. So I'm like, oh my God, this feels great. And all these girls are looking at me. Girls I sit in class with, you know, wearing them tight pants, dressing like sluts, ton of 80s makeup and the big frizzy hairstyles. Like some of those cookie cutters used to have back in the day, like the Ultimate War used to have, and Carrie Von Erich. And then she told me to do it, so I did it. I didn't come yet, but then they started, a couple of the girls started pulling their pants down, taking off their tops, showing me their tits. One girl had her legs spread, and she's sticking her fingers in her pussy, hair on it and all that. I'm like, oh my God. So, but then we scheduled another. She just said, well, when we go to school, she's going to bring all these costumes in. And she's going to have to put makeup on me. And I said, don't you dare put eyeliner on me, because all these junior high girls were getting these eye infections at the time. And she goes, oh, don't worry, we won't. So before I went home, she said, she grabbed me. She says, Lenny, you tell anybody what went on there, we're going to cut your dick off. And you're just going to have a stump. She goes, I swear to God. So, you know, me, big mouth me, I went and told some guys, and they confronted her, and she was pissed. And she'd actually, when we changed classes, if she wasn't in my class, her and her friends would walk by me, and she'd pull the blade out of her purse and look at me. And I was thinking, man, she ain't gonna do nothing. But once we finally had to do the presentation at school, sure enough, I let that bitch put eyeliner on me and makeup. And actually, it was kind of a turn on, so maybe that's why I did it again at the Gang Goblins Halloween party. But yeah, the feeling I got then, I wish I could go back to that 13-year-old, man. How many guys could say that, you know? And if I was a big mouth, which they thought I wasn't, I was just exceedingly shy at the time. That's why they got the opportunity to do that. But man, oh man. I never knew how to jerk off until I was 16. I told you that. I was getting wet dreams. So what do you think about that, Brad?